Hello, welcome to this panel about Audiolink. I don't have an intro. I'm Orca Toaster, Club Meme Lord.
I'm Victor Ryan, a bit stream producer. And sorry, I need to eat breakfast, so I have some food right now.
And I'm Crispin Muffin, avid Blender and Unity nerd since 2019 and Club Stream Team camera operator.
I actually thought it was camera operator, but Club Meme Lord works.
Yeah, you are Club Meme Lord.
Yes. If anyone is wanting to follow along live, best of luck to you. Before we get started with the actual panel, we're going to show you what you'll need, which is the Audiolink package within Unity itself, the Creator Companion, and Poiomi, because we will only be discussing Poiomi today. You can use other shaders, like Value Shader or the Furality Shader, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other shaders, but we will only be covering Poiomi today. Now, Victor, would you like to explain what Audiolink is and where it came from?
So, not even running off a script, just going off of what I remember. So Audiolink is a tool that a lot of events use that is built into a lot of shaders. It allows your avatars to light up in effect to any audio or music that is coming through an audio stream. So it's basically using the full spectrum of going from like sub bass all the way up to treble. Now, Audiolink itself actually originated as part of the swatches at MagFest, which is an odd thing when you actually think about it, because you wouldn't think of something like that to actually start making its rounds in VR chat, but there's a lot of interesting integration with it that actually originated from MagFest. And especially several of the people that work at MagFest also are involved in a lot of the scene here in VR chat.
Good.
I think I'm done.
All right. We can go over. Well, we can actually hop right into the Unity portion of this. Let me find the scene because it has somehow disappeared. There it is. All right. So, what you see up on the screen now is my Unity project. I will be reconstructing my protogen as best I can. Which what you see on the what you see on the left here is my main protogen, and on the right is what I will be reconstructing. We will first be starting off with the normal pulsing effect that you just get with Audiolink. I can actually show that real quick. Let me play in Uni. And you see the hexagons? The hexagons are what I'm going to be showing off how to do. That is just the pulsing effect. And the music you're hearing is from OC Remix. They have no licensing, so we can use the music. So, first off, if you have your avatar up and ready, go ahead and find your shader. I'm using Poiomi Pro. You can use normal Poiomi. This is in pretty much every single version of Poiomi, except for maybe a couple, like really old versions. Poiomi Pro, I think, is only, what, $5? $10 on Patreon? 10? Yeah. And the public version is free in their Discord. So, first off, go ahead.
And especially with Poiomi Pro, there is now a VPM repo that you can add to VCC, or some of us we use Alcom.
That too. I only ever just drag it in, so I have never used in Creative Companion. But yes, you can use in Creative Companion as well. So within Poiomi, you will see. Let me collapse all of these. You will see color normals, shading, outlines, special effects, audio link, vertex options, global modifiers and data, third party, and rendering. We aren't going to touch any of these last four. The main reason just being that that's not what we're covering. But if you see this little box right here called Audiolink, we're just going to check that. That just enables Audiolink for you. Now, one thing I forgot to cover. Within Unity itself, you will want to go up to Windows, and you'll want to find, sorry, not Windows, Tools. You want to find Audiolink, and then add Audiolink prefab to scene. Since I'm not capturing my full screen, I'm unable to show that, but that is how you get the Audiolink avatar here, which I should probably cover. The Audiolink avatar will allow you to play music within Unity while also using Audiolink. And you'll notice there's Audiolink input and Audiolink YT DLP player. The YT DLP player, I have the Zelda Ocarina of Time OC Remix in here. You can set this to a URL or a video clip. I have it set to video clip, but that is up to you. If you set it to URL, you can paste your URL in this box here, or you can find a YouTube video and paste it down here as well. Now, the YT DLP player script down here with the video URL is a constant battle with YouTube, because YouTube will change something in their API or how things work on their website, and it will completely break the YT DLP player. So if that doesn't work, just use the video clip. Are you gonna say something?
It's always best to either use a video clip or an audio clip. I use an audio clip, which you can input underneath the Audiolink input section of the prefab that you have there.
In which you can see that right here. The Audiolink, the audio clip, non-audio clip. So let's say I actually have the audio files here. So I go here, I can drag in this Final Fantasy remix, throw that in there, and it'll play that audio.
Make sure you remove it when you're going to test things.
Yes.
Because that is just going to get a bit chaotic if you do it, because that is like two different streams going on at the same time.
Do not recommend having two different audio sources playing at once. Audiolink
We
will
all
thank you.
kind of know how that gets in VR.
Yes, it is not fun. Copyright time? Yeah, I wish. No. OC Remix, all of the remixes on OC Remix are non-copyright, so you are free to use any of them.
If you happen to stream this.
Yes. I highly recommend OC Remix. Because it's all video game music.
Yeah. And also a good point is you select music that can have like a wide range of frequencies, so you can better assess of what is going to appear on your avatar. But all of us, we use different music from different artists because everybody has varied taste, and that's fine. As long as it works and shows you what you need, that's good. Oh, right, I just realized we never said our pronouns. I just realized that.
Any pronouns?
He, they, and
He, him.
Okay.
It's so nice seeing the little pop-up and I was like, oh, right.
We don't have pronouns.
We
All right, so back to Audiolink. So you have enabled the Audiolink section here. What that allows is now if you go into emission 0 and enable that, of course your emission will enable. But now down below you will now see an Audiolink box with strength, multiply strength, add and center out. If I disable that, you will see it is no longer there. Make sure if you're doing Audiolink to enable the Audiolink box. I have talked with several people who have asked me to show them how to do Audiolink, and that is one of the main things they miss is that Audiolink box right there.
Yeah, basically,
No.
all audio link settings are hidden unless you enable that
Yep.
box in the settings.
also
Yes.
in that section specifically for the audio link, there is animated toggle in there, and the reason why that is there is because of how Poyomi is set up for the actual like drop down tab. Anything under there at the top you can't actually set as animated, but anything underneath the drop down you can set as animated. So if you open up the audio link tab underneath the audio link, so literally audio link and then audio link, you'll see some of the additional settings in that.
Would you like to explain those settings real quick?
Yeah.
I
love
have it
that we're
up.
dealing with the delay. But yeah, the animation toggle is what you set as animated if you need to set a toggle to toggle it on and off. The smoothing is basically how great. How do I word this? Basically, how smooth the like animation effects are on each one of the spectrums.
Perfect.
That's the best way to explain it.
The smoothing slider smooths it.
The smoothing slider smooths it.
Not wrong.
And that just made me think, oh, that's right, the square hole.
The square piece goes in the square
Anyways.
hole.
Let me reset this because Unity is being dumb right now. Alright. So I will zoom in on the armor and then my mouse will break. Lovely. That's because I'm holding down Alt. Alright.
Well, don't do that.
I try not to. So I'm going to go ahead and show the emission. If you know how to work with Unity and if you made an avatar before, you probably know how to put an emission in there. Let me find the emission. Alright. So for putting an emission in there, you just drag your emission map in there. It's very simple. Now with an emission map, as you can see here, mine is just black and white. You can have your emission maps be colored. You can have them black and white. It is up to you. If you have them set as black and white, then you can set the color in here to be whatever you want. So I'm going to set this to my favorite color, cyan.
Also, it is kind of recommended to, when you set up the emission to, in like Substance Painter or however you do it, if it's not like a set color, like it is like on my eyes here, where you have different various colors that need to be emitted, you can actually set it just as white as an emission, so you can actually help create an emission mask if you want to do multiple different layers of the RGB mask. Because there is a difference between that, where the mask is basically just telling Poyomi where it needs to apply the emission. The emission map can be used in both ways, where it can also tell where it goes, but it can also be used to define the color of it if you need it specifically. Which is why on some of my avatars, I have both the emission mask and the emission map on there, because I have to deal with several other things on there. But you're doing what I have to do with the scales on my avatar, where I have the mask set, but I actually set the color individually in Unity rather than actually having a color map, just so I can save on optimization.
To follow up on that, what I have here, this single texture, this can go in either mask or map. It will do the same thing. If you have just a single texture, you can put in either one if it's black or white, or even if it's colored, it'll sometimes work. For, as you can see, I changed the color to black so you can actually see it now. Now, to actually enable the audio link, because if I were to hit play right now, not much will happen. See, it's not doing the same thing as the other armor. I'll let that play for a moment. To get it to do the same thing as the other armor, you will notice that under emission multiplier, the minimum is set to 1 and the maximum is set to 1. The minimum is the minimum emission strength that the emission will be set to. The maximum is the maximum emission strength. So I normally set this to 0. 0 just fully disables it whenever there's no audio. Then maximum will make it light up when there is audio. Now, I don't know if this is visible. Is this visible on the stream? No, it's not. Okay. So you have different bands here. Bass, yeah, the drop downs. Low mid, high mid, and treble. Bass will be your drums, your bass guitars, those kinds of instruments. Low mid will be your more male vocalist or deeper, instruments. High mid will be things like your pianos, your female singers, like that. And then treble will be like your cymbals or like kind of tapping or clanging. I'm going to set this to high mid because that is what my other armor is set to. So now if I were to play this, you can see now it's lighting up. And that is the simplest way to do audio link. You set your strength multiplier, minimum 0, maximum 1, set your band, and that's it. That is the most basic of audio.
I forgot. I was going to add in conjunction to it on the band selection. There is also another additional one called volume, and that is basically just across like the actual decibel level of it. So you can do that as well for certain parts where you want to constantly have it being affected. I like using center out on that because it kind of gives that effect depending on which direction you're going, so you can see a lot more of the bands as it's going through.
And I will not be covering center out today. It is very easy to set up, but it is used everywhere. And
Yep.
if you want to mess with center out, you are welcome to. I'm going to skip over it just for time reasons. And if strength add does the same thing as multiply, it just will add to this number instead of multiply it. Now, one thing that I have seen is people will set this number to something like 10. That makes your missions really bright.
Yeah.
A good rule of thumb that I follow. Go ahead.
We don't want to flashbang people in the club.
Please do not. As fun as it is, please don't. Some people do have epilepsy and they might be able to handle the lights, but not your avatar. Or they might have the lights disabled, but not your avatar.
it's not friendly to us too, because some of us, we have different headsets, and all of a sudden you have this very bright emission right there in front of, and it's like you feel the pain of your eyes shrinking.
Yes.
Especially in worlds with bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good rule of thumb for this is take your emission strength and your multiplier, and if that is above 3, 4, or 5, it is too much. Keeping it around 3, 4, or 5 will be a good safe area to run in. You might get away with higher emissions in worlds with less bloom, but keep it around that area just for the sake of other people's eyes. Eyeballs will thank you.
Thing. If you have the asset, the lighting sliders asset, which is free on Gumroad, you can use the emission multiplier to also increase Audiolink brightness, so you don't really need to do that in there. Like, you don't have to increase it to a crazy high value. You can just adjust it with the sliders on the avatar if you use that asset.
That's it.
Look, you're still gonna be a glow stick. We just need to save our sight.
So I will go ahead and play this, and you can see the difference now. Now it is a lot brighter. If you want to make your Audiolink more sensitive or less sensitive to audio, you can set this 0 to a negative number. That just allows you to have quicker flashing Audiolink so that it will come on and then turn off faster than normal Audiolink would. No flashbang, only glow stick. Yes.
Yes. We want to glow, but we don't want to look like we just came out of a nuclear reactor.
From what I remember, this world does not have bloom, or else I would pull out my nuclear volley.
Technically, it is.
Is it just
When they were
really
testing
weak?
things, when they were testing things with the lights, yeah, got flashbanged.
Then I will not pull it out. Alright, so next thing we're going to cover is pathing. One of my favorites. Do you guys have any comments on pathing before I get started?
Well, it is the first Audiolink method that I ever used, aside from the basic emission blinking, and I kind of fell in love with it immediately and based my entire avatar around that one feature.
I unfortunately never actually used it before because doing gradient maps is kind of a pain sometimes.
Speaking of
Census
gradient
Banner,
maps,
can you be nicer about that?
shall we talk about masks and RGBA maps before we get into this?
I
All
mean,
right,
we can. We can.
cool. Victor, you're up.
Oh. So, again, masks basically tell the emission where to apply the emission. It does not give any information in regards to color data, or basically what color the texture should light up as. Where you can actually just have just a set mask where it's just one color that'll tell it where it needs to go. Usually you do that either as just a white texture, or you do it as an RGBA mask, because you want to, if you want to compress data and be able to optimize your avatar a little bit on texture data and just be able to split between multiple different channels if you're using like all the emission slots, or better yet, It's something that is typically used a lot for matcaps and other specific things where it needs to use a mask to apply certain things. Color maps, which are also basically RGBA maps, those distinctly tell the shader specifically what color is supposed to be emitted. It's why certain textures you're going to have to make sure you have an actual texture for the map itself so it can actually light up the way that you want it to. But you also have the ability to set it as a base color if you just use like a white map as the color map. You can set it as like just the base color so it just reflects off of the main texture. But it sometimes has a little bit of funky things with it, which is why I like actually having the set data so other things don't mess up. But it's only really needed specifically for the special effects section of Poyomi, where if you're adding like some of the other things, you're going to have an actual set mask in order to apply it. But pathing, on the other hand, you actually do have a open drop down where you can actually layer the mask. Now, with Poyomi, you're going to have Fry already built in, and you can use and I have to also pull up Unity on my end so I can actually say it correctly, the texture packer, to actually pack the textures within Unity, because sometimes getting the colors just right don't always work.
Which the thread texture packers a bit more advanced than what we're going to be going into today. This is just basics of just telling you how and where you can set up Audiolink to make your avatars just more fancy, in other words. Any other comments?
Not entirely. Do you have more expertise on pathing? Because
Yes.
I've never used it, Billy.
I love pathing. And how I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up is how I learned to set up. It's very simple. I saw someone mention that the pathing on the Google Docs or the documentation was very confusing and weird. I have not actually looked at that documentation.
I have,
So-
and I ended up not using.
Hello,
Hi.
welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed the weather forecast, or whatever was on intermission.
Okay, let's go where we left off.
So, and that would be
Someone asked about the lighting
Yes,
sliders asset that I mentioned.
Yes, it is called
There
lighting
is-
sliders.
There is a thing on Gumroad
is it literally
called...
sliding sliders?
Yeah, it's just called lighting sliders. And it's used... as far as I know, it only supports Poyomi, but I use it, and it's really nice. Helps me with a lot of crappy lighting situations.
Well, I guess we shall get into pathing now. Before I do, let me find the gradient map. So, you might have seen those RGBA maps. Let me go back to that real quick. On the right side, I believe, or left side, my left to your right. That might look pretty confusing because there's a lot of colors there and you might not know what that all means. What you can do instead is, I'm actually going to paste this here. What you can do is just make a simple black to white gradient. Black is where your pathing will start. White is where it will end. What pathing does is it will just send a wave kind of down your tail, at least how we're going to set up. It'll send a wave down the gradient.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to set that back to black, not black to back. And we're going to enable,
Words
make sure
hard.
you have, words are hard, I'm dyslexic, so yes, they are very difficult.
Same.
You're going make sure your Audiolink is enabled, and then we're going to enable pathing. If you don't have
Can I open
pathing,
on
you
the
might
screen?
be at, You're right. I kind of need to, show you guys what I'm actually doing.
Yeah.
Let me,
Yeah,
let me do that
as you
again.
were saying, it's like if you don't
So-
have pathing, you might need to update your Poiomi. Make sure to update your Poiomi because there are a lot of new features, including things like VRC light volumes. And
Yes.
also just optimization's sake, it performs so much better than it used to.
As I was saying before, I did not show you guys. You can make a black to white gradient. Black is where it will start, white is where it'll end. And what we're going to be showing today is sending a wave down the gradient. That is the simplest way to do pathing. Just start at the end, start at the beginning and go to the end. You don't need to make multiple color maps. If you want to make multiple color maps, this is where you will put them. So you will put your RGB and A, red, green, blue, alpha, which is what you saw on the previous slide. So for this, we're going to, in the RGBA path, I'm just going to drag my gradient into that box. And it might, you might need to click adjust there to adjust it so it's working properly. And let me.
It's taking its time.
No, it's actually fully loaded. The
Oh,
reason
there you go.
that it is, yeah, so you can see as it plays, you'll see it is now following that path all the way down the tail. But no, maybe you want it to pulse with the audio instead. What I do is I just set all these other colors except for R to black. I will only be showing how to do one of these. If you want to use multiple colors, it will be the same process on every single color. So I'm going to delete all the numbers from these, just so that we're only working with one map. I'm working with one color. I'm doing this in VR, so this is going to take me a minute. Now, you can have it be fill. If you wanted to fill up the entire map before disappearing, you can. Or you can set this to path. And that allows you to have that single bar that just goes all the way across the tail. Or where across the gradient, not the tail. You might not have it on your tail. So now you can see it is just following the path. Now you can increase the emission strength if you want to, soften the speed, lighting. I'm going to ignore that for right now, and we'll just get straight onto the audio link. But that is the simplest way to set up the pathing. I'm going to set all the rest of these to path as well. But you do not need to set these to path if you are not using them. Now, I'm not going to put my mask in yet. I will put that in before we hit play again. But you might notice that that you have multiple options here. Time offset, emission offset, width offset, history, chrono time, auto correlator, and color chord. Would you like to explain what each of those does? Or would you like to explain that?
I do know that I have messed with most of these, and I know that what is that? Time offset, yes, when it hits the frequency, when the music hits the frequency that you assign that time offset to, it will either fast forward or wind back the band that moves back and forth. So you can do some pretty neat animations, like have, for example, the band hit back a little bit to the beat, for example.
Emission offset. That will just increase the emission on the beat. if I'm not
Pretty
wrong.
much like the emission layer.
Yep. Width offset will just increase the width of the line there with the audio link. History is what we will be messing with today, and that is what we'll be sending the line down the path, which we need to start putting out. So yep, that'll send the line down the path with the audio link. And then, you know what chrono time does?
I haven't really used it a whole lot. I'm honestly still kind of learning it.
Okay. I haven't used chrono time, autocorrelator, or color chord, so we're not going to mess with it. If you would like to mess with it. Okay. Would you like to explain autocorrelator?
It is pretty. I've noticed that it's pretty similar to using history and enabling volume as the band. So that means that it'll use the entire gradient, basically like an audio visualizer. And autocorrelator is very similar to that, but it's a lot sharper, and it seems to automatically like fill in the line evenly based on all of the frequencies currently being activated. As best as I can explain it.
Orca.
Are you muted?
I was
you muted?
muted. I am sorry.
I was just like, it's oddly quiet.
No, I muted to cough and then forgot to unmute.
Oops.
So
Well-
under the audio tab, under pathing, you will see history, and under history mode, if you click that drop down, you'll see mask and override. We will just be using override today. Yeah, well done, me. Yeah. You really only have to enable the history for the channel that you're using, so we will enable R history. Then you'll see R band, which the band is going to be bass, low mid, high mid, treble, and volume. Same thing as normal emissions. So since we have the override there, this is pretty much AudioLink set up with pathing. There's not much else you have to do here. If you want to increase the length or increase or decrease the length of how long that pulse goes down the tail for, I'll actually start this. So you'll see it is now mapped to high mid, and the body's freaking out because I have not put my mask in there yet. Which
Oh. Yeah, you became,
You became the flashbang.
so if I put my mask in there you go.
I need to sit down and actually start doing some of that.
So someone asked, why is it so blocky? That is based off your texture size, which this texture is 2K. I could set it to 4K.
It's also kind of an unfortunate
But don't.
effect of just using gradients, because
Yes.
compression doesn't really like gradients, and they tends to cause a bit of color banding.
Yeah. So it's something where you're on the export from the program that you're using, you're going to actually have to decrease the size that you're exporting or to, not do funny things. But also, this isn't a good example. You don't need any textures set to 4K.
Yes.
Yeah, I do not recommend setting your textures to 4K. For most audio link, 1K will work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and a lot of times if you need, like, compressed textures, but you still need to retain some detailing, make sure you set the compression to high, quality rather than like normal quality, because otherwise things get a little bit crunchy.
Someone asked about 256. You can set your audio link to your map's 256. I do not recommend it.
You can lower it to whatever resolution looks fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
Whatever your preference
reflection
is.
maps you can set like much lower.
And we are very quickly running out of time. I thought this would take 30 minutes. It ended up taking 50. So that's a surprise to me. So I'll quickly go over. If you want to make the bands even shorter, like if you wanted to go down the tail faster, you just lower the R range. And it will now move across that gradient faster than if you just left it normally.
I do want to try one thing. Because it behaves, the history thing behaves really differently if you set the band to volume. Because then it doesn't move along, it uses the gradient as a audio visualizer. It's really low
Yeah, it's
sensitivity here,
basically
though.
the direction of like each band, so it basically just uses it in that manner.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
like that. That is a feature I'm using, and I love that one.
So a lot of Audiolink is just playing around, seeing what you find works best for you, works best for your avatar. And I see Gong's asking, how do I add Audiolink to my pause? Message me after the event.
We also do have a Q&A channel in the public Discord that we can answer some of your questions. So if you have any questions that we haven't gone over, we can try our best to answer them later when we can.
Yes. I'll be available for a while. So I will be in that channel answering questions. I thought we would have time for Q&A at the end of this panel, but we have 2 minutes left. So we could take maybe 2 questions live, maybe 3. So I presume that is in the channel. But I don't know where that channel is.
None of us know where it is.
Nope.
Oh wait, no. We have Nate coming up here. You can do it.
Okay. You got this.
Stuck on the world. All right, I have a couple of questions for you guys from the Discord.
All right.
The first one that we have is, what would you say is good practice for getting started with audio links, or alternatively, any tips and tricks that you wish you knew starting out that would have saved you time if you knew from the start?
Oh, starting out, I think I would have loved to just know all of the things that you need to do to get it working in the first place. Like, the document doesn't really cover how to use the RGB maps or how to combine them properly, or how you would go about making them in the first place, like which kind of program. And I would recommend, if you're doing those masks, that you use a 3D painting program like Substance Painter or even Blender if you can make that work. Because with how avatars are with UV islands, you can get some clipping and all that if you draw it in 2D.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
I was just like, why is there fish?
I was going to say the same thing. Use a 3D painting software. I tried Krita. Krita, the mission just ended up being too pixely. So I'd really recommend either a free 3D software or Substance Painter, or even Blender.
Let's see, we have 10 seconds. Can we answer another one in 10?
5 seconds.
My brain has just...
Alternatively, I do have a second and more final question.
Okay.
Where can people find you if they want to ask more questions, like in the Discord, or if you guys have your personal socials? Where can people find you?
Orca Toaster everywhere, or my website, orcatoaster.com. You can ask me questions on Discord. I'm on Discord.
For me, my Discord username is Crispy Muffin, same as VRChat. And my Twitter, or X account if you use that, is Crispy Muffin VR.
Now, my socials are a little bit interesting because a lot of difference in platforms, but on Discord, it's at It's Victorian, so ITS Victorian, no space. It's different than what is displayed in VRChat, but you can also find me on Blue Sky under that as well. I don't use Twitter that much, but that's a personal choice.
And that's Victor with a K.
Yep.
Yeah.
VIKTOR.
Fantastic.
I guess that wraps up. So I'll throw out the ending slide.
Ben.
Finn.
Ooh.
Finn.
Oh,
I can't grab
done.
it.